Welcome, pilots! This video is part of my guide detailing every high-security combat site. While I normally fly an Ishkar, for Blood Raider sites I've instead chosen to fly another assault frigate called the Jaguar. This is certainly far from the best choice for this site, but the Jaguar is capable of completing the Blood Vigil. Combat signatures appear in your probe scanner window, and you must scan them down with probes before you can warp to them. Some combat signatures do not have a DED difficulty rating, and instead have a chance of escalating to a short story-based expedition. The Blood Vigil is a combat signature found in all systems with a security status of 0.8 and lower throughout the western regions of Amarr space. This includes Aridia, Genesis, the Bleak Lands, Kador, Kor-Azor, and Khanid. This site has a decent potential for either a faction spawn or an escalation, either of which may lead to high-value loot drops. Only up to battlecruiser class ships will be allowed into the site. As soon as you land on the acceleration gate, an opening message will appear. Previous explorers have commented that one of the gates requires a passkey. Alternatively, it can be bypassed by meddling with the security system controls inside the chapel. The Overseer guards the battle station vigorously. You must activate the gate to enter the first room of the site. In the first room, you'll conveniently land on top of the acceleration gate to the next room. The area is guarded by a row of missile batteries above and 3 separate groups of Blood Raider NPCs. You're flanked to the left and right by a pair of stasis towers, each guarded by a single battlecruiser. The structures above are guarded by the third group, consisting of 2 more battlecruisers. The acceleration gate to the next room is locked. While you might feel the need to take out the 2 stasis towers, you can actually avoid fighting the initial NPCs. If you look above the acceleration gate, you'll see the chapel mentioned in the opening message near several large rocks. Attacking the chapel will spawn a new group of 5 Blood Raider NPCs, consisting of 3 advanced frigates and 2 battlecruisers. Destroying the chapel unlocks the acceleration gate to the next room. Alternatively, you can avoid destroying the chapel if you have the passkey mentioned in the opening message. This turns out to be a Blood Gold Tag. If you have a gold tag in your cargo hold, you can simply activate the gate to the second room as soon as you land. The tag will be consumed. In the second room, you'll land in front of a large Blood Raider battle station surrounded by a series of twisted asteroids. The battle station is guarded by 7 destroyers, 5 battlecruisers, and a pair of powerful stasis towers that will hold you in place almost immediately. 4 large EM force fields surround the area. A message in local chats suggests they are responsible for repairing any damaged ship or structure in the area, but that they only have so much power remaining. It is possible to target these force fields, but they're too strong for a ship like the Jaguar to destroy before being repaired by their peers. With the Jaguar, my strategy is to take out the lower hit point destroyers first, and then wait out the power supply of the EM force fields. Once they can no longer repair, I take out the stasis towers. I did find myself overheating my shield booster on several occasions, so for those assault frigate enthusiasts out there, be aware that this is not a walk in the park. Taking a potshot at the battle station spawns the commander wave, consisting of 3 frigates, 3 destroyers, and the Corpus station manager flying a cruiser. The station manager will always drop a Dark Blood brass tag and a Blood medium crystal. If you're lucky, he may also drop a Dark Blood module or an Amulet or Talisman implant. Destroying the station manager also has a chance of escalating to the Rewards of Devotion expedition. Among the information your scanners pick out of the badly damaged station manager ship logs are logs containing a conversation indicating that the manager himself had an R&R hideout not far away, where he spent his free time doing whatever perverted things Blood Raider hotshots do when they are on vacation. For pilots flying heavily tanked ships, this site can be blitzed quite quickly. In the first room, simply take out the chapel or make use of a Blood Gold Tag. In the second room, take a single potshot at the battle station and take out the station manager. You can then bookmark the manager's wreck, warp out, wait a few minutes, and warp back to collect the loot. In the first encounter of the Rewards of Devotion expedition, you'll land directly on a newly constructed acceleration gate guarded by a group of up to 8 Blood Raider NPCs. This group will consist of 4 elite frigates and 3 cruisers. If you're lucky, a Dark Blood NPC flying a cruiser will be among them. This and any other Darkblood NPC in future Rewards of Devotion encounters may drop a Darkblood module, or an Amulet or Talisman implant. Destroying the Darkblood NPC has a chance of escalating to the second encounter of the expedition. The janitor of this tiny pleasure dome is an old, sickly man who seems quite pleased to see his former employer's real estate been blown apart. Among the things he tells you is that he was a slave captured by the Blood Raiders years ago, and what saved his life was that his blood was useless to them, as he had contracted some nasty BD during his teenage years while he worked as a page at the Interregional Trade Council in Jeddah. He can also inform you about the location to a small hideaway similar to this one where he once served as a janitor, until his old master lost him in a game of craps to the station manager, for whom he has worked ever since. In the room behind the acceleration gate, you'll land in a clouded area next to a series of bunkers and other structures. The initial Guardians will include 3 advanced frigates and 3 destroyers. Additional spawns in this room are timed based on when you landed on the original entrance gate. Another group will spawn near station ruins, consisting of 3 frigates and 3 cruisers. And a final group will spawn near a bunker, consisting of 4 elite cruisers and 3 battle cruisers. The elite cruisers will hit you with strong energy neutralizers, reaching out beyond 40 kilometers. If you choose to take this engagement, be aware that you'll likely be capped out unless you can keep your distance. In the second encounter of the expedition, you'll land in a heavily guarded area between 2 rows of broken asteroids. There are 2 groups of Blood Raider NPCs and a network of point defense batteries. The nearby group consists of 3 advanced frigates and 4 destroyers. The further group consists of 4 frigates and 3 destroyers. A ways ahead, an obscured station named the Blood Raider Resort hovers in space on its own. Taking a potshot at this station spawns the Commander Wave, consisting of 3 destroyers and 3 cruisers. If you're lucky, a Darkblood NPC flying a cruiser will be among them. Destroying the Darkblood NPC has a chance of escalating to the third encounter of the expedition. While blasting the station, your instruments picked up transmissions in connection with its security system, which apparently was communicating with some central security station. You have the feeling that sticking around for too long is not a very good idea, as it is pretty certain that a security detail has already been dispatched to take care of whoever is vandalizing the executive pleasure huts in the area. In other words, you. But if the security detail is coming your way, it means they are not at their base, so you quickly hit some buttons, and in a few seconds you have the location of what presumably is the security station flashing on your navigation panel. Destroying the entire Commander Wave will spawn yet another group of 4 cruisers and 4 battle cruisers, though it's not necessary to engage these. In the third encounter of the expedition, you'll land near several rocks and a trio of pleasure hub structures. The area is guarded by a network of point defense batteries and a group of up to 5 Blood Raider NPCs. This group consists of 4 battle cruisers and, if you're lucky, a Darkblood NPC flying a cruiser. Destroying the Darkblood NPC has a chance of escalating to the 4th and final encounter of the expedition. Hastily, you scan through what is left of the security station's logs and databanks. Most have been totally wasted during your attack, but it seems that a list of time schedules and locations you find contains some of the station's clients. At least 2 of the locations are identical to the 2 pleasure casas you previously made a short story of. The list contains 1 more site. Somewhere above and to the left of the landing beacon, there's an obscure structure named the Blood Vessel Resort. Attacking the resort spawns a large group of Blood Raider NPCs, consisting of 3 frigates, 7 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and 3 battle cruisers. In the final encounter of the expedition, you'll land next to a large station named the Blood Paradise, guarded by 2 rows of heavy missile batteries. The spawns in this encounter were a little hard to follow during the engagement. The first 2 groups seem to be either time spawns, or based on attacking or destroying the missile batteries. Each of these groups consists of up to 7 Blood Raider NPCs, ranging from elite frigates up to battle cruisers. Attacking the Blood Paradise station will spawn a series of new time groups that can become quite overwhelming. Each station group consists of up to 10 NPCs, ranging from elite frigates up to battle cruisers. The elite frigates will hit you with webifiers and warp disruptors, while the elite cruisers will use tracking disruptors and energy neutralizers. Damaging the station will eventually spawn a single battleship named the Blood Messiah. Destroying the station, or the Blood Messiah, will prompt the closing message of the expedition. You'll never know if these 3 places you got to constituted the only elite playgrounds of the Blood in this part of space. But if so, they surely will have some work to do before they can have more play. The Messiah has a chance of dropping 1 or more Corpii A-Type deadspace modules, or a blueprint copy for a crewer. My understanding is that the final encounter will normally spawn in a low-security system, but I was lucky enough to have it spawn in high-security space. If you're looking to run your final encounter in low security, be aware that other players can use combat probes to find you. A ship like the Jaguar, fit with light missiles, is capable of running the site in about 10 minutes when ignoring the NPCs that are unnecessary to complete the site. Bypassing the first room with a Blood gold tag can cut this down to about 8 minutes. Heavily tanked ships like a Sacrilege or Gila can blitz the site much more quickly. Younger pilots may want to try out a Prophecy fit with heavy missile launchers and a focus on EM and thermal resists. While recording the footage for this video series, I kept track of the loot drops for 10 Blood Vigil sites. The Corpus Station Manager is a guaranteed spawn, so there's always a chance of faction loot. 7 of the 10 sites drop something beyond the faction ammo and tag, while 4 of the sites escalated to the Rewards of Devotion Expedition. The Rewards of Devotion Expedition can escalate up to 4 times, and every encounter seems to be guaranteed to spawn a Dark Blood pirate. Through my 4 escalations, I had a total of 8 encounters, 4 of which dropped something beyond the faction ammo and tag. Some of the better drops included a Dark Blood medium armor repair from the Blood Vigil site itself, and several mid-grade Talisman implants from various encounters in the Rewards of Devotion Expedition. Unlucky for me, the only escalation that went through to the final encounter had a rather disappointing drop. Stay tuned to Riley Entertainment for more EVE Online combat site guides. In high-security Western Amarr space, you can also probe down other unrated sites like the Blood Hideout, Lookout, or Watch. Note that the Eastern Amarr regions have similar combat sites featuring Sanchez Nation NPCs. Other NPC pirates include Rogue Drones, the Serpentis, Guristas, and Angel Cartel. My journey to host a complete set of combat site video guides began in 2020 with a similar 13-part series for Serpentis combat sites. I followed this up with similar series for Guristas and Angel Cartel. If you find yourself outside of Amarr space, you can check out those videos right now. If you're curious about fitting assault frigates for combat site exploration, you can check out the gaming section of my website over at RileyEntertainment.com. Thanks for making it to the very end, and smash that like button if you enjoy my content.